Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Sundays with the Cherry on Top. I'm your host, Cherry. We are in the National Black Theater. We are about to interview Jonathan McCrory. He is one of the youngest artistic directors in the country, and we're going to be talking about The Peculiar Patriot, which is the first show of the new season, and we're just going to be talking about why he said yes to this position and what he's doing for the community.
It's really profound is that at this moment in time, there are all these burgeoning, emerging institutional voices coming out, and that we as MBT can be a legacy organization inside of that contemporary conversation.
And also, too, being a leader of that, right? Because you are bringing the narrative to Harlem,
yes,
in a different way,
yes,
right? So where are we right now?
I mean, we're in our theater. We're in our Black Box Theater. We're in Harlem, New York.
Hey.
Hey.
Good morning. Thank you for meeting me this early in the morning.
Hey, I'm an early morning riser.
I know. So I email him and I say, hey, can I interview you for Sundays with the Cherry on Top? Hi, that's me. And he's like, yeah, 10 o'clock in the morning. So I gave him a side eye.
And internally, I did say, I meant earlier, but I knew that I wanted to make sure our radiant hostess of the mostest was ready.
I woke up like this. Anyway, so tell everybody who you are.
My name is Jonathan McCrory. I am the Director of Theater Arts Programming here at Dr. Barbara Antier's National Black Theater.
Okay, and so for people who don't know what that is, what is that?
So for people who know like theater terms or theater terminology, I am the artistic director. And what that entails is that I'm really responsible for the artistic output of what happens inside of this institution. Really making sure that that the space is really fertile for artistic exploration, that we really sit in our promise and purpose of what our founder, Dr. Barbara Antier, gave us as far as creating a cultural arts institution that's about healing, that's about forward vision and mission, and that really represents Black joy.
Black joy.
Powered by our ancestors.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay, so artistic director, so
Yes.
some people understand that.
Yes.
And for you being one of the youngest artistic directors in the country, which is so great, right? Because that's important.
It is important.
It's important. How has your young voice changed or for the good for the community?
I mean, I think it's a lot of powerful things.
Yeah.
I think that when I was able to really own this opportunity that I was given, I really had an opportunity to create a space for our generation and for us to create a space for
He's
our.
saying that like I'm. Anyway, our generation. He know I'm younger than him.
Anyway, okay. Black don't crack.
Exactly. Okay. Anyway, okay. Go ahead. Talking about our generation. I'm like your generation. No, anyway, go ahead.
But a space for the contemporary generation.
Yes.
To have a home that was derivative and came from an Afrocentric kind of zeitgeist, that was able to do New York world premieres, that was able to give the best and the most brightest a space to call home. And when I think that's the shift. If there is no other shift that me coming into these doors and be given this opportunity by Sade Lithcott, who's the CEO, who basically hired me.
Hey, shout out.
Hey, Sade. But for her to give me this opportunity really gave me the space to really say this is a home for the future me that when I left NYU I did not have. Yeah. When I left NYU. Growing out of that whole experience, there wasn't a space. I was searching. I was searching for a Black authentic home, a Black authentic space that was producing narratives that looked like me, that sounded like me, that not like saying like Black narratives with contemporary issues, contemporary zeitgeist, contemporary aesthetic, and there wasn't really one out there. And it's really profound is that at this moment in time, there are all these burgeoning, emerging institutional voices coming out, and that we as MBT can be a legacy organization inside of that contemporary conversation.
And also, too, being a leader of that, right? Because you are bringing the narrative to Harlem,
yes,
in a different way,
yes,
right? So where are we right now?
I mean, we're in our theater. We're in our Black Box Theater. We're in Harlem, New York. I mean, also to think about this, we are one of the only Black theaters, let's even talk about Black theater in the country that really is committed to giving Black playwrights and Black directors their chance, their foot, their ability to have a premiere in New York City.
And so
to
how
really
do they
cut
find
their
you?
teeth.
How
do I find them? I mean,
that's true. That's important too, right?
It's a reciprocal conversation.
It's important. Yes.
It's a reciprocal conversation because I think that we can think of a monolithic.
Yeah.
But I think it's not monolithic. I
Yeah.
think it is like we do a particular kind of work here.
Yeah.
It takes a particular kind of person to like kind of fill these shoes. That what this opportunity, this chance to work inside of these hollowed walls is. It's a rare gift.
Yeah.
And so it's like I'm searching for someone who understands the gift, and also I'm looking for someone who will challenge me to fall deeper into my own gift.
So how is this show coming up? We're on the set. Tell everybody what set we're on right
So
now.
we're on the set. You guys have to come and like experience the full scope of it. But we're on the set of Peculiar Patriot. It'll be a world premiere.
Okay.
It's by Lisa Jessie Peterson. It's directed by Talvin Wilkes. It is a beautiful investigation of the impact of the prison industrial system on black women, how it has impacted and affected black women in particular, but us as a society and community. I think that I don't know who exactly said the quote,
Yeah.
but it is known that when black women become free, we all become free, knowing that they are.
I mean, amen. We were the first ones here, right? Lucy, right? Lucy in Africa, she black. I just want to put that out there. Anyway, go ahead. I'm just saying, all life comes from the black woman.
So just thinking about that narrative and thinking about our theme of our season, which is Black to the Future. How can we begin to have a conversation around a futuristic, Afrofuturistic conversation around what we need to heal if we're not starting with a singular narrative, going back to the griot style? If we don't start with a narrative that is also centered around a black woman and a black woman's thought, her feelings, how she's being impacted, what does she love, what is the passion, what is the thought, what is everything that is needed for that freedom that comes when we are talking about solitary confinement,
Yes.
when we're talking about being in prison,
Yes.
when we're talking about being separated from your family. I think that we sometimes don't take into account, and this is the staggering statistics, is that there are 3 million children right now who are without parents because they are been separated by the prison industrial system.
Yeah.
And some of those charges are drug-related charges that are now being, on some states are being freed because of you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
There's some charges that are impacting the future generation. We're talking about future. The ability of we all know, for some of us who've had mothers and fathers, we know the joy and the importance of fertilizing that seed, and sometimes the joy of knowing and having that connectivity. What happens when we, as a society, create systems and mechanisms that make sure that they are detached?
Yeah.
And then what's the future? What is the future going to look like? And I think that this piece gives us that opportunity to have a conversation with what we are actually impacting and tapping into.
And the cool thing about having the conversation is that your audience not only gets to view and experience the show from the minute they walk in, when they walk into a solitary confinement prison aspect in the lobby, where you got to come see it to experience it, but they also get to ask questions and talk about it afterwards, right? You have that what makes you different from other theaters. Is that every show that you do after every show, or how does that work with the audience being able to participate?
Yeah, no, thank you for,
Yeah.
so Sade and I have come up with this kind of theology, which is like holistic producing.
Yeah.
And the idea is to not making theater not about a transaction, but about transformation.
Yeah.
How do we create a transformative experience that really allows for us to rethink and re-augment our relationship to social justice issues and politics and just life in general.
Yeah.
And so after every show, we will have a talk back. And what's really powerful about after every show, it will be in community with NGOs in the city that are doing this work on the ground.
Oh, nice.
So we're not just going to be coming from a space of just having just the artist or Sade and I leading this conversation. We're actually working with right now 10 NGOs.
Okay.
And throughout the course of the run, they will be showing up in various different ways to have people sit with Lisa to have with Lisa to have a conversation around the show and what she believes and how she's actually worked with the text and what this actually draws up for them as far as the work that they do on the ground. And then also having some arts activists who are also part of this conversation that she has been a part of for years. She's been doing this for 13 years, this kind of work,
yeah.
for 13 years. So it's actually a beautiful also opportunity to illuminate a soldier who's actually been about this work.
Like a frontliner. And frontliners are very, very important.
Yes, and sometimes we don't uplift them.
No, and that's what you're doing because you're saying that your season this year is Black to the Future.
Black to the Future.
And so this is the first show in the season.
First show in the season.
So what is the rest of the season? What are some of the shows? I don't even know. And like Jonathan's my friend, and I normally know, but he holding out on me. You see how you do me, right? So like what? So tell me.
So the whole season, all the main stage shows will be one-person shows. Again,
okay,
really
so that's
centering
another part
around
of
the
the
griot and
theme.
giving the griot a
Makes
centered,
sense.
focused space of giving us the call to action to the future.
Yes.
Outside of that, and I'll go through the trajectory.
Yeah.
So we have 3 workshop productions.
Okay.
Our first workshop production will be by Nambi Kelly.
Okay.
It will be Blood, directed by Elizabeth Van Dyke.
Okay.
And that will happen in November. And she's really dealing with kind of ancestral blood memory and how ancestral
DNA strong.
how ancestral blood
Yeah.
memory is necessary for us
Yeah.
to heal,
Yeah.
again, to go to the future.
Yeah, okay.
Then you have Angelica Cherie, directed, and she's doing a piece, I Will Not Lie to David,
Hi,
directed
Angelica.
by Caesar.
Okay.
And that piece is really dealing with, again, kind of the evocation or the calling that happens on one's soul and promise
Okay.
of how they're supposed to walk in purpose.
Okay.
So again, another piece talking about how when we're born into this world, there is a calling placed on our lives, and how do we actually mold that calling to being something of fruition and actually activation.
Okay.
And then they're all workshops.
Okay.
And then our next workshop production is by Derek Lee McFadder, and it will be directed by Mary Hodges.
Oh, okay.
And that piece is called Serious Effect, and that is having adverse effect, and that is really dealing with the impact of the testing on Black women, and how
I mean, look at the medical world, right? The medical wouldn't be where it is if it wasn't for the Black women. Henrietta Lacks, for example.
and that's the name I was just about to bring up,
Yeah.
and how we don't necessarily talk about in a theatrical way or artistic way the impact of that,
Yes.
and also what is that? What again? Talking about blood memory, I think a lot of the pieces that we're talking and that we're producing this year really do have to deal with blood memory and how blood memory has to be addressed to be Afrofuturistic. Blood memory has to be addressed to think about actually visioning a future, not just a present reality, and how that present reality reverberates to the future.
See, I love that. So how do
Oh, and then our last piece.
Okay,
I just
okay.
wanna talk about
Oh,
the
we got
last
one more
piece.
piece.
Yeah. It's 5 pieces this year.
Oh,
5
that's
pieces.
Oh,
So the last piece is going to be a production, a collaboration with, and our first. I just want to put this out there to our co-producers on this piece, Peculiar Patriot. Is with High Arts.
Oh, nice.
So
Okay,
we're
nice.
again community.
Yeah,
We're producing with High
that's
Arts this for our first piece, opening piece, and our last piece will be a co-production with Classical Theater Harlem.
Oh, Ty Jones.
Yes.
Ty, are you next? I'm coming after you for an interview. Okay, go ahead.
So we're partnering with them to produce Sancho.
Okay.
And Sancho is a show that really talks about thinking about 2018 again, going to the future. Is really a narrative, a one-person show having to deal with the first African to vote in Great Britain in the UK.
I don't even know that.
So
Ooh.
really thinking about the 2018
Okay,
election,
yeah.
and what that is, how that is
That's
an important
exciting.
civic duty that we have to
Yeah.
do. And then to just wrap it all up
Yeah,
in.
I got goosebumps.
To
Okay,
wrap it all
uh-huh.
up in is that MBT has partnered all year long with a voter registration. So all year long, we will be helping people to register to vote, to prepare for that election, to prepare for civic duty, to get us prepared to really be a part of, to put our voices into action. As Reverend Jesse Jackson said,
Yeah.
is that the same hands that had to pick cotton, pick pineapples, pick bananas, are now the same hands that can pick the president, the senator.
I
you know what
love
mean?
it, I love it.
So these hands, we have to get in motion. We
This
have
is
to
my
get to the
friend,
ground.
y'all. Look at you, like I said, one of the youngest artistic directors in the country, African American male, making change because the torch has to be passed.
Ashe.
And you're planting a lot of seeds
Ashe,
to
thank
help, because a lot of theaters are not doing this.
Oh.
How many theaters can say that they're having people come in to register to vote, having people register to
Well,
vote?
yeah. Yeah.
And so how do people find you or find about the season, get tickets?
So everyone can find out about the season. Full lineup is on our website.
What's the website? Tell
it's
people what the website.
www.nationalblacktheatre, the Eurocentric way of
Yeah.
saying it, .org. So you definitely can go there. You can follow us on Twitter at @NatBlackTheater.
Okay.
And we're also on Instagram. So there's various different ways to engage, to
Okay.
kind of get to know, and just stop by.
Yeah.
Come into this building.
Open doors,
It's a
open door
it's a
policy.
home. As
Okay.
Dr. Tier would say, welcome to your home away from home. And we really hold it true in our bones that we want to create a space where you feel like you're at home.
And so I like to end each show with a cherry pick. For those of you guys who don't know, cherry pick is just your cherry pick. It could be anything. It could be a movie. It could be your favorite book. It could be a space. It could be any place that the community can go and invest. Like cherry pick could be the show,
Yeah,
or the
yeah,
cherry
yeah.
pick. My last episode that I did with Keith Joseph Atkins, his cherry pick was Get Out.
Oh,
So,
and that's an important.
That was a good cherry pick. I was like cherry pick.
That was an important cherry pick.
So, but what would a cherry pick be for you?
So a cherry pick would be actually. So I have to get the actual museum and studio, but Sanford Biggers has opened up his new show downtown. In Chelsea, and that work is stunning. Sanford Biggers.
So we're looking for Sanford Biggers. That's his cherry pick.
Yes.
He has a
visual art display.
Okay.
And what's really powerful about Sanford Biggers is that, and why he really is my cherry pick, is because he also has figured out a way to infuse community. So he does the work here. Oh. So in our basement, he basically has rented it out as a studio, and he does his work in community in a Black institution, but then has a premiere. You know what I mean? It has it still.
Yeah, he infiltrates.
So
anyway, go ahead.
So it's just this beautiful narrative of community really supporting each other and helping some of the most premier of us still kind of shine and illuminate. And his work is actually really stunning. So I really think that if people have the time and they want to kind of see new cutting edge work that actually feels soulful and feels powered by our ancestors, feels beautifully infused with Black joy, feels like it's actually thinking about Black to the future in a futuristic way, I definitely say you should go see Sanford Biggers.
So powered by my ancestors and Black joy. We're going to get a lot of people asking about these shirts, so.
I mean, y'all need to come to the National Black Theater. Another reason why you need to come to NBT. I mean, so we have these shirts. So these shirts are the new shirts of the season. The other shirts that we have are a Black woman created this.
Which I'm going to buy after this episode, because, hey, shout out to my Mama Cherry.
So a Black woman created this. And then we also have Black to the Future, which is our theme for our season. So there's opportunities for you to walk away from NBT with the energy and vibration that hopefully you were bathed in.
I love you.
I love you.
I'm so glad you did this for me today. Can I hug you?
I'm happy. I'm so happy.
I'm like, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everybody, for watching Sundays with the Cherry on Top. That's it, I guess. I don't know. Should I say something else? I don't know.